Now seems a good time to do a bit of a wellness check on beleaguered former shadow president Elon Musk, and oh, how the mighty have fallen. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. All right, friends, we got several things to talk about with respect to Elon Musk, but I want to start with actually the most recent bit of news, which is that, not for the first time, a SpaceX rocket exploded. It was a devastating explosion in the past 12 hours on the launch pad, and it seems to be a perfect visual metaphor for Doge.
Yeah, probably. I mean, even the other day when they... Whoa!
Whoa!
What?
That's not good.
No!
Oh my God. It appears there has been a
Ship
row.
36 just blew up. Yeah, probably.
So yeah, that just happened. As I noted on Twitter, again, perfect visual metaphor for Doge, right? It's ultimately under the command of Elon Musk. It's Elon Musk's brainchild. It did not serve its purpose. It didn't even get off the ground. It exploded in a devastating and, visually stunning, almost at times, fireball, and was a total failure from start to finish. That's Doge, right? Reflected in the polls and contributing immensely to to Elon Musk's ouster from the Trump administration. SpaceX aside, and speaking of Donald Trump, Elon Musk is getting no real reprieve from Trump. You may recall that Musk triggered a brief but intense MAGA civil war with Trump that Musk humiliatingly lost. I mean, in just total brutal one-sided fashion, right? Musk not only insulted Trump, not only criticized Trump's one big beautiful bill, for meritorious reasons, actually. He not only called for Trump's impeachment and replacement by J.D. Vance, but he also insinuated that Trump is implicated directly in the Epstein files. He has since deleted many of those tweets and then said he regrets at least some of them. He reportedly has tried to get in touch with Trump. Trump is refusing to take his call. And weeks later, Trump is still publicly mocking him in a roundabout way. Trump shares Fox News segment roasting Elon Musk for posting his drug test results. Trump may be busy dealing with a high-stakes international conflict, but he's still making time to continue his personal feuds. In a post to Truth Social late Tuesday, Trump shared a segment from the Will Cain Show on Fox News, in which Elon Musk was heavily mocked for posting the results of a recent drug test he took amid a recent New York Times report on the Tesla chief's rampant drug use. Fox News host Will Cain and his guest, comedian John Crist, roasted Musk for publishing the results. Quote, I wouldn't mind getting a deep dive here on what drugs were used on that drug test, Cain said, laughing. Quote, I want to know exactly what came back negative. Quote, I can look back through my life. The eras when I was being drug tested weren't my proudest ones, Crist joked. But I don't think anybody, if everybody looks back at their life, you're like, dude, when was I drug tested? You're like, oh, I wasn't in a great spot. The comedian added, quote, whatever his drug test showed, that's the least of our concerns with Elon. If it says nothing, I honestly look around and go, let's get this guy on something. Quote, he's only a genius launching rockets and having them caught back on Earth, Cain replied. Quote, I'm not that concerned about whatever else he's taking. And again, this, of course, preceded what we just saw with respect to that SpaceX rocket, so Will Cain might want to revisit his tone there. As Mediaite note, Musk has sounded a more conciliatory tone towards Trump in recent days after his jaw-dropping attacks on Trump, including an allegation that Trump is in the Epstein files. But Trump evidently has not fully moved past the feud. So yes, Elon Musk shares proudly his drug test results. See, these are negative, guys. I totally owned you. And Trump is still hitting Musk hard on that. I'll also note that reportedly during that brief but intense MAGA civil war, Trump was calling people and referring to Musk as an addict. So it's in line with attacks that Trump has reportedly made about Musk in the past few weeks. So that's the second piece of news. Then there's also this, as the Rolling Stone magazine points out. Musk says groks will be fixed after it tells the truth about right-wing terrorism. The billionaire has previously pledged to adjust his AI chatbot in order to make it agree with his extremist politics. Yeah, it's pretty stunning. What good is being the wealthiest man alive if your chatbot won't lie in support of your rancid politics? That's the question far-right billionaire Elon Musk appears to be asking once again of Grok, the AI model developed by his company XAI and integrated into X, his social media platform. Following the assassination on Saturday of Minnesota Democratic Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark Hortman in their home, and the shooting of Minnesota Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette Hoffman, allegedly by the same suspect, much of the online right mobilized to paint the horrific attack as the work of a radical leftist. Their efforts were somewhat undercut when it emerged that Mance Bolter, the 57-year-old man charged with a second-degree murder and attempted murder in the case, appeared to be an anti-abortion Trump voter who had a hit list solely consisting of Democratic elected officials. He's not yet entered a plea. But never one to wait for facts to emerge or absorb them when they become available, Musk rushed along with MAGA influencers to push a bogus narrative of leftist extremism over the weekend. Quote, "The far left is murderously violent," he wrote in an X post on Saturday, quoting a Trump supporter who had falsely attributed the politically motivated murders in Minnesota to the left. That prompted another user to tag Grok in the thread and ask, quote, "Why is the left so murderously violent? They don't seem so tolerant." Grok replied, quote, "The claim that the left is murderously violent isn't backed by evidence," offering a centrist correction. Quote, "Political violence spans all sides. Right-wing attacks like January 6th and left-wing protests like the 2020 riots both occur but aren't exclusive to one group." That evening, Musk responded to an ex-user and Trump backer who complained that Grok had been, quote, "manipulated by leftist indoctrination." And Musk replied, quote, "I know, working on fixing that this week." It's not clear how either of them imagined a chatbot created and trained by Musk-controlled company had fallen victim to leftist brainwashing, though that's hardly the first time he and his fellow right-wing conspiracists have raged at Grok for contradicting their worldview. From the start, conservatives have said that the bot is too woke on issues including diversity and gender identity, contrary to Musk's stated goal of unleashing an anti-woke AI. Musk himself was disappointed last year during an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience when he directed Grok to ridicule transgender athletes, only to have the bot instead mock the Karens who have made this a headline topic of the culture wars. The model is also known to accurately reflect that Musk is a major spreader of misinformation and debunk the misleading talking points that circulate Trump world. That's true. It's been hilarious the number of times that Grok is like, yeah, my creator Elon Musk might be the biggest purveyor of disinformation and misinformation on Twitter. That's humiliating. The tech oligarch's frustration over the political violence summaries from Grok seemed to escalate as it kept noting that right-wing violence is more common and has claimed more casualties than left-wing equivalent in recent years. Quote, "Since 2016, data suggests right-wing political violence has been more frequent and deadly, with incidents like the January 6th Capitol riots and mass shootings, e.g. El Paso 2019, causing significant fatalities," it said on Tuesday. Quote, "Left-wing violence, while rising, especially during the 2020 protests, is less lethal, often targeting property." Musk called the response incorrect. Quote, "Major fail as this is objectively false," he wrote, without presenting countervailing evidence. Because, of course. Quote, "Grok is parroting legacy media, working on it." As of Wednesday, Grok was still reporting that extremism on the right results in more deaths. Quote, "From 2015 to 2020, far-right incidents totaled 267 with 91 fatalities, compared to 66 left-wing incidents with 19 deaths, is said in one post. Quote, "Right-wing attacks often target people, while left-wing violence typically involves property damage during protests, which can seem more visible but is less deadly." Exactly how Musk's team at XAI might tweak Grok to lift his distorted view of reality is anybody's guess, though the results are unlikely to be subtle. Last month, X users were bewildered as the bot repeatedly invoked the specter of a supposed white genocide in South Africa, even when being asked to weigh in on totally unrelated subjects. White people are not being systemically murdered in South Africa, where Musk was born, but he and Trump have repeatedly and falsely proclaimed that the nation's white minorities are victims of violent persecution, and the president fast-tracking the process of immigration to the U.S. for a handful of refugees fleeing this imaginary atrocity. Many speculated that Grok had been specifically altered to bring up South Africa at Musk's instructions. Even then, it had no way of substantiating the baseless notion of a white genocide occurring there. That behavior was later amended, and the bizarre post deleted. Easy enough. Getting a chatbot that is programmed to be truth-seeking to lie about terrorism statistics in a way that doesn't look like brazen puppeteering may prove difficult by comparison. Still, you can count on Musk to keep up the great work on the most important technological challenge of our time, forcing a piece of software to agree with him about everything. Yeah, so again, I wanted to do that bit of an update on Elon. He is not doing well, clearly. He's still being openly mocked by Donald Trump. He is being undermined by his own chatbot AI and is then panicking and desperately trying to rig that chatbot AI in his favor. And his rockets are blowing up on the launch pad. And if you actually look at Elon Grok, if you just do an X search, Musk is being mocked left, right, and center about this, as well he should. So there you have it. That is our beleaguered former shadow president in action. He is not doing well, and I would say that's a good thing. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.